Sheriff A.J. Louderback of Jackson County, Texas. Sheriff Louderback also serves on the National Sheriff's Association Immigration Committee. Also with us, Iowa Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. She represents Iowa's 1st District. Thank you both for being with us. Sheriff Louderback, first to you on this. You know, we just showed that video. You can see what looks like hundreds of people underneath an overpass there. We've also seen video of buses showing up in McAllen, Texas. Folks have heard about Catholic Charities and how migrants have been taken from Texas all over the country. How is this affecting your community?
Well, it's profound. Our resources, just like Border Patrol resources, are affected by this. All the counties around us, we're having a chase a day. We're starting to arrest more and more human trafficking, human smuggling issues that are going on here. But the vision from the White House, as I recall from this last week, where the White House has produced documentation on what they think the correct plan is. And of course, it's absent of enforcement here. So this is the things that we just don't see anything. But all of us are impacted here in every county here and in every state here in the U.S.
Congresswoman, any serious person would look at the proposal from the White House, the 5 pillars or whatever it was called. And, obviously there is no enforcement mechanism really in there. They kind of talk about it. But without an enforcement mechanism, this isn't going to stop. Normally the weather this time of year is enough to stem the flow of immigration. It's too hot, it's too dry, it's too dangerous. But what we're seeing this year is the opposite. Just last month, record numbers of apprehensions and interdictions down on the border, and that doesn't seem to be changing.
Right, John, over 200,000 illegal immigrants crossed the border last month. That's a new 20-year record, and we're seeing that month after month. Secretary Mayorkas, when I had the chance to question him in our committee hearing a few months ago, deliberately misled the committee with his remarks. In fact, we believe he did not tell us the truth. He refuses to answer our questions. And it's very clear Customs and Border Patrol agents down there are putting their lives on the line every day. Just like the sheriff said, this is about safety and security for those communities and all communities in our country. And the Biden administration turning a blind eye to this crisis at the border. It's reckless, it's irresponsible, and again, it's putting the safety and security of American families at risk. So until they go back to Title 42 being permanent, for example, or go back to the border wall construction, we're going to continue to see this surge at the border. And it is a crisis directly caused by Biden administration's policies.
Yeah, Title 42, the Remain in Mexico policies were all things that were proven to work to stem the flow of immigration. Chip Roy also tweeted out some of the border numbers from July. 205,000 total encounters, the largest monthly encounter number ever since 2000. 37,000 people got away, 1.3 million encounters so far this year alone. It's hard to not look back at January 20th and what changed with this new administration, Sheriff, and not see the exponential growth in illegal immigration since then.
Well, it's a hallmark of this administration to do exactly what they intend to do here. Despite the fentanyl, the empowerment of the cartel, the massive death, the massive toll, the CBP officers, men and women of the CBP, and what they're enduring today because of public policy from the White House. These are horrific numbers that are coming into and will affect all the United States on a daily basis and weekly basis on resources that we don't have, stressed resources that from policies that are brought about by the administration. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, there is what I think perhaps a cynical but maybe an appropriate look at this, Congresswoman, that says Democrats just want to increase the voter rolls. They're letting all these people in so they can have one-party rule from here on out. But then there are Democrats like Congressman Henry Cuellar down in Texas. Here's what he tweeted. Our DHS agents and border communities are overwhelmed. This is what Sheriff Louderback is talking about, and it must be prioritized. DHS will again encounter over 180,000 immigrants. And of course, he lives in July. Now, he lives down there where this is being affected. And he's been consistent on this, but you don't hear that language from other Democrats, Congresswoman Hinson. Why not?
Yeah, well, and it's unfortunate that we're not, because this is not a partisan issue. When I was down at the border visiting back in April, we actually had a roundtable with a dozen or so sheriffs, Republicans and Democrats from the area, that were all saying the same thing. This is about safety and security. This isn't a partisan issue. And I'd like to thank Congressman Cuellar for his courage to speak out on such an important issue. And I hope that more Democrats see and respond to what's happening at the border. You talk about the increased number in crossings just last month. That's about 30 to 40,000 more on average than the largest city in my congressional district. And that's just 1 month. So this is a problem that's obviously getting worse. It's compounding. You mentioned that point in time back in January, obviously with the change in the administration was a direct change in these policies. And until we get answers to our questions from the secretary, we're going to continue to shout it to the rafters about this worsening crisis at the border and the direct impact on the safety and security of American families.
Yeah, you know, with everything else going on, you don't hear a lot of questions about this and what the real end game is from the administration. We do expect to hear from more from both the vice president and the president today. They're going to talk to Latino communities, but what that means for immigration enforcement, we know probably not much. Great to have you both with us. Congresswoman Ashley Hinson, also Sheriff A.J. Louderback. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.